This is Pastor Bennett of Grace in the Park Ministries. Join me as I dive deep into the impact of the trade war and try to figure out, is it really killing the world economy? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're unpacking a topic that's been making headlines for years, the global trade war. It might sound like something only economists and politicians care about. Trust me, it affects all of us. From the prices we pay at the grocery store to the stability of our jobs and the strength of our local economies. So what exactly is a trade war? In simple terms, it's a situation where countries, particularly major economic powers like the United States and China, impose tariffs and trade restrictions on each other in a kind of economic standoff. This isn't just a one-time thing. It's been escalating in waves since around 2018, and its impact has rippled through every corner of the global market. It's important to understand that this isn't just about numbers on the spreadsheet. These trade decisions affect real people, factory workers, farmers, small business owners, and families trying to stretch their budgets. When countries tax each other's imports, prices go up, consumer spending drops, and industries get hit hard. Imagine your favorite smartphone suddenly costs 15% more. Why? Because the parts that go into making it, microchips, rare earth metals, LCD screens, are now subject to higher tariffs. That's the direct result of a trade war. Tariffs are essentially taxes on imported goods. When a country like the US imposes tariffs on Chinese goods, it makes those products more expensive for American consumers and businesses. And of course, China retaliates with its own tariffs. This back and forth makes imports more costly, which translates into higher prices on everything from electronics to everyday groceries. Over time, that reduces consumer spending, and consumer spending makes up a big part of most economies. But consumers aren't the only ones feeling the heat. Businesses, especially those that rely on global supply chains, have been forced to make some difficult decisions. Manufacturers in sectors like technology, automotive, and textiles have had to either absorb the cost increases or pass them on to consumers. Neither option is great. Many companies are now rethinking their sourcing strategies, trying to move supply chains away from China to other countries like Vietnam, India, or Mexico. But doing this isn't easy or cheap. It requires restructuring, new logistics, and dealing with entirely new sets of trade regulations. This kind of uncertainty makes it hard for businesses to plan ahead, hire new employees, or invest in growth. On a larger scale, the trade war has rattled financial markets. Stock markets have seen dramatic swings with each new round of tariff announcements or trade talks. Investors hate uncertainty, and trade tensions create a lot of it. Some economists have even warned that prolonged trade wars could push major economies into recession. Countries like Germany, which rely heavily on exports, have seen growth slow. China's economy, once booming, has also experienced a deceleration in recent years, due in part to reduced export demand. In the U.S., certain industries, particularly agriculture, have taken a major hit. American farmers, for instance, have faced declining exports of soybeans and pork thanks to Chinese retaliatory tariffs. And let's not forget emerging economies. They often get caught in the crossfires of trade wars between giants. Countries in Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America may see both opportunities and challenges. While some benefit from companies relocating manufacturing, others face volatility in commodity prices and reduced foreign investment. In recent years, we've seen efforts to ease the tension. One of the most notable developments was the so-called Phase 1 trade deal between the U.S. and China. This agreement involved China committing to purchasing more American goods, especially agricultural products, in exchange for a rollback of some U.S. tariffs. While that deal offered a glimmer of hope, it didn't fully resolve the core issues, such as intellectual property disputes, tech sector restrictions, and long-term strategic competition. But it did suggest that dialogue is still possible and necessary if the global economy is to stabilize and grow. Some experts argue that the trade war may be ushering in a more multipolar global economy, one where countries are no longer as dependent on just one or two major players. This diversification might bring more resilience in the long run, but in the short term, it also brings disruption and cost. So is the trade war killing the world economy? It's definitely taking a toll, slowing growth, raising prices, increasing uncertainty, but it's also forcing countries and companies to rethink how they trade, invest, and cooperate. What do you think? Have you personally felt the effects of a trade war? Maybe through your job, your business, or your wallet? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below and let's start a conversation. And if you're interested in exploring other major global events, make sure to check out my video on the impact of Brexit on the global economy. Trust me, it's another roller coaster worth understanding. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a deep dive into the biggest economy stories shaping our world. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious.